Before we start the show, let me thank you for clicking onto this video. If you'd like to see more videos like these, why not subscribe and hit the bell button so you'll never miss an episode. Now, on with the show.
Warhammer will be here real soon.
Comprised of warrior women.
Hi friends, I'm LJ Jarvis, and welcome back to This Jarvis Show.
Greetings everyone, welcome back to On Air with Jarvis, the podcast of all things Warhammer and general stuff I find of interest. Joining us today is the Legion's favorite artist, Svi. How's it going, good sir?
Is it going on you, mate?
Well, I'm doing all good, thanks, though. Right now, I'm having a bit of a stroke since my Votann video has now reached 900 plus views, so that's pretty epic.
I wonder if it was the image or the content of the video what motivated people to click on it.
I don't know, but somehow it got into the algorithm's attention, so I guess the sacrifice to Jupiter has worked.
Jupiter? No, I sacrificed to Mars, bro. Only to the god of war. Wait, was Mars the god of war? Or was that the other planet, actually?
Well, Mars is the god of war, yeah. It's just that the Romans named the planets, or the star that they called viewed at the time, Mars, because of course, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot that you have the Greek gods and then the Roman gods, and then I am like, who copied who?
The Romans copied the Greeks, but then again, the Romans copied everyone.
Yeah, but the Romans copied. Yeah, okay, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the Greeks copied. Yeah. The lore, the historical Rome.
Yeah, because Jupiter is the Roman version of Zeus.
Oh, wait, what?
No, I mean, Jupiter is the... Yeah, Jupiter, he's the Roman counterpart to Zeus of Greece.
Okay, but is Jupiter sexually as deviant as Zeus?
You know, I'll be honest, I kind of don't know, but considering that they're the same person, basically they are the same person, I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow, this new lore just dropped. Actually, now that gives the question, does in the context of God of War mean that Kratos will have to fight Jupiter? Because right now they are doing what's that, Ragnarok, right? And they are doing the Egyptians with the Viking gods and such, the Nordic, yeah. Now that makes me think if the Greeks exist and the Romans exist, therefore do their gods exist? Or just because the Greeks were the one being represented in the game, does that mean that the... Well, actually, they had also Thanatos, which Thanatos is a Roman. So I guess they were combined, the pantheon of the Romans and the pantheon of the Greeks in the game, actually, yeah.
Well, the thing is that Thanatos, he is the Greek god of death, and his name itself is Greek, Thanatology. You know, that's a word that comes from the Greek word Thano, you know, the word for death, because it is Greek in origin. And here's the thing, too, about God of War is that in God of War 3, instead of naming the character Heracles, they named him Hercules, which is his Roman name. Because that's something people often forget is that Hercules himself, the name is Roman, not Greek, because his Greek name is Heracles. But to get to the point about if he's going to fight Roman gods, well, I think if he were, I think that might be a little redundant since they are basically the same gods. Literally, it's just a name change.
Yeah, but you had Thanatos and you had Hades in the game. But you had Thanatos as being like, I don't remember it well. I know it was a boss in the PSP. I will say it was a prequel rather than a sequel. Which the game was, if I remember correctly, you had to basically get to save Apollo. Apollo was the one of the sun, right?
You're actually confusing two PSP games together, but
no, impossible, because in to save your brother, in the other, actually, I'm gonna Google it.
Well, in Ghost of Sparta, because that's the game Yeah, it was called Ghost of Sparta. Kratos does save his brother, but his name isn't Apollo. It's Deimos. That's his brother.
No, but no, he didn't have to. But he had to save the light because the shadows were like the dreams or something like that was engulfing the world when you play the game. You had to save your brother because then you realize
Oh,
you have a
Apollo.
brother.
Yeah, that was Chain of Olympus. Yeah, that was the game that came before Ghost of
Yeah.
Sparta.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, Ghost of Sparta, you had to go and kill Hades' wife because she wanted to liberate. Who was this guy? The one that holds the wall. What was his name?
and well, Persephone, that's Hades' wife. She's actually
Yeah.
in season Chain of Olympus, which is the first PSP game. But in the second
Okay, yeah,
one,
Chains of Olympus.
But in the second game, well, in the second PSP game, he's fighting Thanatos. That's the end boss in Ghost of Sparta.
Yeah, also, I think he kills his mother. Yeah, I think the first boss that you have to kill is... No, the second one is your mother, after she tells you that Zeus is your father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah.
So, you had in the game Thanatos, okay, which he was encarcelating Deimos, but you also had coexisting with Thanatos, Hades, you know?
Well, here's the thing.
So,
Hades wasn't in that game. He was... Because Persephone was in the first game, which is Hades' wife.
yes, but then Thanatos, what does that make Thanatos?
Oh, what? Oh, what's
As-
Thanatos? Well, Thanatos is the god of death.
Yes, then Hades is the god of death too. Well,
He's the god of the underworld, not exactly death. That doesn't necessarily go align, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, okay. See, that's one thing that I never liked about the gods is when two gods share something that's pretty much the same, but then there's like a little bit of difference, you know? Well, a little bit of difference. Okay, one is the one who controls the realm, the other one is literally dead.
Yeah, because there was this whole Greek story about Thanatos being kidnapped by a mortal, and because he was kidnapped, no one in the world could die. So literally, someone could get
Oh,
stabbed.
yes. In the game, which if you haven't played it, Hades, in the game of Hades, you actually explore that those characters, those Greek mythology characters, and you have one that's basically chained to a stone, and it's that guy that tricks basically Thanatos from killing him. If I'm not mistaken, he's the one because he gets punished with basically having to push a boulder to the top, and then the boulder falls, and he has to do it again, all over again.
Yeah, that's the guy who kidnapped Thanatos. That's his forever punishment, or he's forever lifting up a boulder. Yeah.
Yeah, man was very big brain.
He was a very smart guy.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really liked about like the game of 80s, as I said, which is pretty good. Is how they gave a lot of charisma and life to the characters and to the mythology and their stories, and how you can kind of empathize with basically the guy that tricks Thanatos. Which I make a sequel because it's really good. It's really good.
Though, again, but back on the Votann video, I just give a quick comment on that. When we did the whole how the video got popular, so to be honest, I don't think it would make such an impact if people like you didn't help out with the video. Like, well, one of these examples being the character on the thumbnail, because I think that did make it distinctive from everyone else's video on the Votann.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would rather utilize, game visual art, but I think that if a YouTuber or YouTuber and such goes the extra mile to commission someone or make themselves a Tumblr, I think that gives more originality also.
That's true.
Video itself, rather than for example, doing you do a shitty. Okay, let's say a shitty, because that's what I used to do. Do like a shitty thumbnail in 5 minutes on Paint when I used to make little videos for my friends when we used to play League of Legends. They are very cringe, if I may say. But they were, made basically for me and my friends. So, that's it. But yeah, I think it gives a lot of flavor having something more original to your thumbnail than whatever workshop drops. Because I think it catches more also the attention of the people to see that.
That's right. And because usually how thumbnails work, especially with like Warhammer YouTube channels, is that because I do this all the time, is that we would take official art, we'll convert it a little bit, use like Canva or PhotoJet programs to, give the text, give it a little shading, add some stuff. That's usually how people make their thumbnails, right? Though there are people who go out of their way to commission original art, original backgrounds, and stuff like that for their thumbnails. That way, again, it is distinctive.
Yeah.
So I think that did help with the algorithm.
Yeah, I don't know. YouTube algorithm is really, really bad, if I may say, especially if you look up the current situation, which I was looking the other day ago, and this video he was checking was about a black YouTuber who was basically saying that his video from this game that's like The Exorcist, except you do like autopsies. I don't remember now the game, but the problem he was. Oh, I think I'm kind of okay. I thought I was lagging. The problem was that he was getting age restricted, and that really makes the flow of your video go down just because of the age restriction.
Mm-hmm. That does how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, you need people with accounts for the age restriction videos. And his problem was that Markiplier and other YouTubes weren't getting age restricted, and he was getting age restricted because of. Then he made a claim to YouTube, and they ignored him completely. Then he made a video, made the claim, and they didn't ignore him. He also shared with them a video of Markiplier where he had the same scene, and then they age restricted Markiplier and him, but they didn't take down the age restriction. So what next happened after that was the next day, Markiplier basically played a porn game to see if he was going to get age restricted. He basically named the video "Try to not get age restricted."
Mm-hmm.
Because to be fair, I don't think there's anyone that's going to basically go on leak YouTube because YouTube is doing a lot of mistakes, especially with content creators. I don't think they age restricted him because he was black, because he was commenting that, the 3 reasons that they were racist, that because he was black or that because there's a bot, which I think that's also an issue with a lot of companies, the thingy of having bots, where the bots do not understand context. They are just programmed to see thing, ban thing, or age restrict thing,
Yeah, I can understand that. And I honestly faced something like that myself because I tell the story a bunch of times, but I'll do it again. But when I did my Lilith video, right, I had the character in a position where you can see a bit of her butt and all that. But because, there's every other thumbnail that will have like a girl in a bikini on it, whatnot. Almost everyone does it, right? But when I do it, I got a little warning says, naughty, naughty, don't do that again, or we'll give you a strike. And it's like, well, how come it's okay when other people do it? When they reveal even more stuff.
I know. That's what the other guy was going on about. If it's YouTube giving favoritism, or if it's actually a person reviewing the video, which I think the way YouTube is working with the age restriction and such is either having bots or having a guy who has to watch 1,000 videos just to give you a little the little warning. And also, oh, I'm lagging. Nice. Did I just lag out?
You're fine. I think you're fine.
Oh, okay. Right. So, like you said, you get age restricted and such, and it begs the question: is this a person doing it, or is this a bot? And if it's a person, he's trying to get a quota, of how many videos you have done, how many videos you have, done this and this and that. Because I don't think I don't think that's I think well that's actually the point Asmongold made in his video about it, is that if it's like those jobs that you don't get like a salesman, right, of how many houses you sell, this is how much money you're going to get. It's
Mhm.
basically how many videos can you review. You need to fit a quota of how many videos have you reviewed, and I don't think a person could be watching thousands of videos,
Up
and being like,
one person's not watching thousands of videos per minute because of how huge YouTube is and how many people can upload stuff in a day. It's like everything's coming out in a conveyor belt every few seconds. There's no way hundreds of people and staff or even 1,000 will be able to do all that. So of course they're going to rely on bots. So
I know.
Because my video my thumbnail was taken off in like the first 10 minutes when it was up. There's no way a person in YouTube saw that. There's not a likely chance that out of the ocean of stuff that's coming out of that belt that day, they'll be able to notice that specific one.
Yeah, but by the way, going to the part of Lilith getting age restricted, Games Workshop kind of age restricted her when they made her model that time.
Yeah. And I guess what's ironic is that I don't know, people will expect the men are complaining that she's not in her bikini anymore, but it's like that criticism actually came from women who were like, why do you take away her bikini guys?
Yeah, I know. That's I think that's the funniest part. It's like no one had a problem, but Games Workshop was like, "Is this family friendly enough? Well, the kids want to buy Lilith. Let's give her pants or something like that."
No, don't bring in
Wait.
kids. Kids are the worst. Don't bring them into Warhammer.
Yeah, don't let them. They will become politically extremist if they play Space Marines or the Imperium. Yes.
Because there was already a huge deal about that with Call of Duty, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, don't forget about that trial. The trial where they will try to pull the Call of Duty card.
A trial?
I don't want to say the name.
Oh, I think I know
It's
who
too
you're talking about.
controversial.
I think I actually know
It's
who
too
you're talking.
controversial.
I think I know who you're talking about. I actually saw that clip where the lawyer brought up the game like Call of Duty, and he was like, "So you play these games, right? The game that teach you how
Yeah.
to shoot." And when I was watching the video, I was like, "Dude, no one talks like that in real life."
No, but I think bringing up that games make you a psychopath or make you learn how to wield the gun and such, that's pretty idiotic,
To be honest, there's more people who can understand difference between fiction and reality. It's not a phenomenon of people not be able to tell difference. It's like, no, if someone isn't able to distinguish fantasy from reality, then they're just stupid or really psychotic in the brain.
I mean, this is basically like the satanic panic when America tried to basically ban that time long ago D&D because it made you satanic. It's basically the same thing,
And it's going to be the same thing with Warhammer. It has they try making the same thing with Warhammer, but it's like if you play Warhammer, you're normalizing satire of fascism, and it's like that's a huge subject I can make for a video itself, but it's like, no, just stop. Nothing's being normalized. You're just a grump.
I just don't understand why I cannot sit down and enjoy the faction and all the horrible things they do. They are not real, It's not real, man. You're not gonna play Warhammer and then after Warhammer be like, oh man, let's look World War II. Damn, I like that guy. What's his name? Hitler. He has a book. I'm gonna read it, or I don't know, play the orcs and suddenly be like communism, or the Tau, because a lot of people associate the Tau with being weeaboos or communists. But yeah,
It sounds like
I don't.
it sounds like Hank when to me it's like Hank from King of the Hill when he I just one meme of Hank talking to a Tao from King of the Hill where it's like, so are you Chinese or Japanese? And that's almost the same thing here.
No, do not say Chinese or Japanese. That's racist, Jarvis. That's what I saw the other day on Twitter. Someone said Chinese or Japanese or no, rather the abbreviation of Japanese. Okay, and someone jumped on them like racist, and it's like, bruh.
Well, no, that the whole joke is that Hank doesn't know there's other Asian cultures besides China and Japan. That's the whole point of the joke. Because when his neighbor says Laos, he's like, Laos? You know, obviously he has never heard of it.
Or the one where this girl votes for communism and starts talking about how good is communism.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Hank's niece, yeah?
Yeah.
But anyways, to move on with the convo, I think, yeah, everyone knows my views and opinions on the Votann. I'm looking forward to them, and I think they're a really cool faction for 40k. But what about you, Svi? What do you have to say about them?
I like them. A lot of people are comparing them with the essentially what will be the Space Marines from StarCraft, just by the way their body armor looks. But what can I say? Their body armor is Warhammer. You know, like there's no innovation in Warhammer if you view it this way, apart of the Tau, which they innovate their stuff. As you have the codex, you have seen all the stuff that they got and how you can say that their models have like some sort of narrative of how their civilization has, got more technology, more powerful, but they are still, small in comparison to the Imperium, which is massive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going back to the Votann, yes, I really like them. The only model that I will say I didn't like is the Berserk type ones, where they are like with mining tools, no armor. I thought they could have gotten armor actually, instead of being like, oh, we have mechanical augmentations, yay.
And about the whole StarCraft thing, yeah. So in the bit of my video, I did say, well, if you were to compare the Hearthkin to a StarCraft Marine, there is differences between them. Like, it's not just copy paste. If anything,
of course.
Sorry, what?
Of course, yeah, of course it isn't a copy paste. It's just that it's rather the shape that gives you the resemblance, but the details are very different. I think that's the thing. People see basically big shoulders, round helmet, and think StarCraft. That's StarCraft. But all the details and such of the Votann make them unique. Their armor makes their armor unique and separate them, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does make them unique, and if anything, I think Games Workshop was looking towards more of astronaut suits and all that.
Yeah.
And about the whole Berserk models, I'm not even sure how you pronounce them. It's obviously not Berserk, but it looks like it. It just looks like
that's the way that I view them. Just because they are a melee focused unit and they are shieldless and big weapons, I will compare them to being the sort of the Berserks, because you also have the Terminator type,
So
the big chunky boys.
Mm-hmm. What I will say though is that looking at them, I think one of the ideas is that because they're miners, they don't have to necessarily be like wearing all this heavy gear, because in the industry, I think maybe in the industry people will go like shirtless, stuff like that. So maybe it is a like sort of a cultural mining thing that they're trying to go at. So I think it's okay, but I don't know. There's not much I can say, but I think they're an okay range, but that's just my view.
The mining culture, I haven't read their lore, but I guess it makes sense that their weaponry can be also mining utensils that can be used for war because you have to look also at the Gene Stealer cult. They use they make sense that they use mining tools and such as their weapons, since they don't get to craft them. They're basically appearing a planet, which actually does in the lore any of the Gene Stealer cults like expand, or they just stay in the planet, make a cult, and then get eaten.
The whole idea is that they will create their cult underneath the ground, beneath the world, and then when it's time, they'll invade the surface, cut off communications with the other systems, and try to wake up the planet enough just for the Tyranid Hive fleet to arrive. That's the whole idea.
Yeah. Okay. Another model of the Votann that I didn't like is the, let's see how you can pronounce the Brukin Thunderkin.
Oh, the Thunderkin. Yeah, that's right.
No, the Brukin, the Brukir Kin Thunderkin. The Thundercats, yes.
Well, you didn't like it? You didn't like it?
I didn't like them because why are they not tall? Have an exosuit, but it doesn't make them really taller. Look at them. Look at this. What is this? Well, actually, if the image one wants to be sent.
You know, there is actually one thing I will say is that maybe it's the feet that kind of looks awkward to me, because it's just like a little ball with, you know, what I'm going to call toes. That's basically what the serval suit is, right?
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't look like that'd be the most comfortable thing to walk in. I don't know, if that thing looked like more like, you know, feet, then I guess it would just look better to me.
Okay. I've seen now one model that I really like. I didn't see that one. The 18 champion looks fantastic. I fucking love this design.
Oh, and he does, and it's actually really cool
Look at that. Is that just like a fist shield bolt gun?
That's basically what it is. It's basically a ginormous power fist with two bolters attached to it.
Guns. But I love it. I love it. I just don't know what he has in the bag. If that's supposed to be a coolant, his backpack, or
of how I see
I don't
it.
know.
Of how I see it, I think these are. I'm going to call reactors. I'm going to call them that. Maybe they're probably like these enormous batteries to power up his suit. That's how I see it as, because maybe his is a bit, you know, more chunkier than compared to his other kin who wear the similar suits. Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of the Imperial Fist, the ones with the red fists. I'm sorry, I forgot their name.
Crimson Fist.
Yeah, the Crimson Kids, fists. Sorry. They have this model with the guy who has like a massive fist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy. That's what he reminds me. Except he has bolters in his arm.
And he looks he is very dwarvish. It's like, this is how I almost imagine a dwarf in like power suit would look like. Yeah.
Another model. Let's talk about the Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Iron Master. I really like the model. Looks pretty badass. The Mold Grenade Launcher kind of reminds me of the Ogrins. You know.
Oh,
I guess.
I see.
Yeah. Let me show you a photo if you don't remember how they look. I think this model, I don't know when this was announced. I think 3 days ago.
The one with the
grenade launcher.
Yeah, the grenade launcher. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Ogryn. Like if this model was upscaled, it will be perfectly an Ogryn, minus the face.
It would kind of be like that, yeah. Though I think the whole reason why they chose a grenade launcher is that this is just at least my little bit of knowledge of the mining industry back then, is that they did use dynamite. So maybe this is almost a similar theme of idea. But instead of just a stick of dynamite, it's a grenade launcher.
Yeah, and in childhood, all the cartoons at the time, they had almost all of them had Am I lagging? Okay, no. Okay, fine. Almost all of them had a sort of mining episode, and the majority were Western time with the cowboys and all of that, that times.
Mhm.
And you always had that. The mines always had dynamite, and I think the episode that I remember the most was the one of Billy and Mandy, where they are basically like doing the school. They are in a school bus. They reach like the desert, and then the teacher is like, "Okay, boys, start to mine. We need to find fossils and all of that. Basically free labor, man. Find me some bones, children." And then I think they find a mine. They go into the mine, and there were these giant chickens who started eating people.
How
And I
did
think they
how did it talk about Warhammer get into Billy and Mandy?
Siege. All of this was Siege's plan. Yes, I'm an agent of change. I will move the conversation away of Warhammer. Yes.
You're good, but finish up with the story, yeah.
Yeah, but basically, it was like a government experiment where they wanted to make giant chickens for war, and I think one of the chickens eats Billy and then shits him.
Hmm.
And then they blow the mine, the facility, which was in a mine with dynamite. But yeah, I think recurrence of mining of when they like I've no knowledge about mining, but yeah, all the cowboy shows, all of that, they always used dynamite to keep mining.
Mhm.
But yeah, going back to the Votann and the new models, one model it kind of feels odd for me is the Grimnir, which I guess it acts as the Psyker.
Oh, the Grimnir, yeah. I was actually about to say that because I think he was my favorite model. Yeah, I like him because he looks like to me a dwarf wizard, which is I think a really cool concept that I'm glad they carried for the Votann. And honestly, if they put him into his like Votann traditional armor, like say the Hearthkin, I think that would be too much like a Psyker, Space Marine Psyker or Librarian in this case. So they did something a little different. They put him in like robes. They gave him like a Gandalf like beard and all that. That's to me is a dwarf wizard, which is basically the whole theme of the Grimnir. I think it works.
I guess it's just me with the whole mining team to have a character which has no mining equipment and it's basically a wizard feels just weird to me. Like I like the drones. The drones are pretty much what the Tau have, if I may say, but with bigger guns for what I can see. And
Though I think the thing to keep in mind about the Votann, I think, is that their entire culture is not just about mining. Like not every single Votann is a miner and all that. There's different industries and all that from bits of lore that we read about them. And of course, because of that, we get to see there's, traditional soldiers, with the Hearthkin, the Thunderkin, and all that stuff,
Yeah. I actually was waiting for the codex to get released fully to have a read on the lore instead of, watching video YouTubes. Because how is Games Workshop, they always can change something by the end. And though now that I'm looking, some of the rules got leaked, which by the way, I had a friend of mine basically the other day told me how the League of Votann is extremely broken in the tabletop game. They haven't been released yet, but the rules say that they are going to kick everyone's ass. Everyone will die. The dwarfs of space. You will die. You are dead. But I guess it makes sense that Games Workshop wouldn't make a new faction army. Okay, then they're going to be balanced. Fuck no. Buy the army. Kill everyone.
It's probably the same thing when they released the Tau Empire for the first time and how broken they were.
I mean, they are still broken for what everyone tells me.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody wants to play against them. Nobody wants to look at them. But I think that also makes sense. It's like what I said about their technology getting upgraded in the lore and such. They got better at making big robots that shoot you with bigger guns.
Yeah, because the whole idea is that they use technology from the dark age of technology, right? This is like mankind's peak technology. It's all clean, refined. This is like almost a traditional sci-fi setting. And this is before the Imperium of Man. This is before it became, backwards. Well, not backwards, but this is when technology sort of degraded.
Stagnated.
Yeah, and it's more like
stagnated in tradition, basically.
Yeah, that's right. And because the Imperium of Man's technology is a bit more medieval. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like futuristic as the Dark Age of technology. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, if the Emperor had said, okay, we can make, the Mechanicus and the Emperor had said, okay, we can make new stuff, but don't make AIs, okay, guys? No AIs, just make bigger guns.
And what people don't understand is that the Mechanicus is like they're very conservative with their technology. They don't, try to create new things. They want to preserve stuff or find stuff from back then to recreate. It says they don't create new technology.
So basically, Chaos Mechanicus is the liberals. Yes. Warhammer politics. Yes.
If I could actually say one more Votann model that I really like for myself, my last piece is that the Land Fortress, right?
Yeah, the turtle ninja's car.
It's like seeing that thing. It's like, wow, that's a cake of a model because I really like it. That's how I sort of imagine a spacefaring tank, something that could rip through a surface of a moon and stuff like that. Something that's spacebound. So that could, and that's one of the things I like about the Votann is that the armor, their vehicles, and all that. It looks like something able for spacefaring. Because that's their whole thing. No, yeah. Because they're space explorers. Space explorers.
Their vehicle, the Land Fortress has, in the design, you can tell that's basically focused on what's the, every sci-fi space vehicle that has to go into the moon, that type. But also, they have the smaller version of the Land Fortress. What was the name? Let's see if I can find it. Because they had made 3 vehicles, right? You have the motorcycles, which are the pioneers.
Mm-hmm. The pioneers, yeah.
The pioneer. Okay, the pioneers. Okay, there it is. The Sagittaur. The Sagittaur. I will take a screenshot and show it to you. You can see it there, the Sagittaur, and then you have the. With the Sagittaur, you can see it. It's basically the your typical sci-fi and lower. Actually, I'm gonna Google on image so you can have an idea. Okay, yeah, there it is. Actually, it's not, but you get the idea. Okay, there it is. Right. There's also another example. Okay, the Moon Land Rover. That's essentially the base, and down I put you another example of what basically the idea of it is. That sort of vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get your idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing they want you to carry. Sorry, go on. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, space pioneers, like you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's what the design of the Land Fortress and the smaller vehicle give you, of being, space.
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah.
Actually, now that I look at it very well, it's more like Land Fortress. Okay, it's basically the smaller car but jacked. Yeah, it's jacked. Yep.
That's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. Yeah, it is basically their version of the Land Rover. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Land Rover.
Oh.
I got Land Raider. My mistake.
Land Raider? Wait,
Yeah.
is this a transport?
For Space Marines.
Yeah, I know, but okay, it's a transport and has big gun. Okay, excellent.
Yeah, it's a very chunky tank too.
Okay. It's a mix. Okay. They describe it in the place where I'm looking the models at. They describe it. Think Hammerhead mixed with a Land Raider.
Yeah, that's basically the whole idea. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wait a minute. The gun on top is also basically a railgun. Ignores invulnerability saves. Wow. Wow, who could have thought that Games Workshop, will give another vehicle the ability to destroy your units easily? Unless you're playing Abaddon, which Abaddon doesn't, give a fuck about the guns. He will just go and destroy you. Unless they have changed his rules, he doesn't care about the railgun. He just
I'm sorry,
will
dude.
pound.
I'm sorry, dude. You got cut off there for a second.
Oh yeah, that was the Chaos God stopping me from revealing their secrets. Yeah, Abaddon, the model, he has basically, how the basically the rain gun ignores the invulnerability saves. Well, the rules of Abaddon make so that rule that the gun has basically Abaddon doesn't give a fuck.
Mhm.
He don't care. You cannot kill him with the Hecaton Land Fortress unless someone kills it, because basically, oh yes, you have rules, you throw the dice tells you if you die or if you live. So it is between getting lucky and between knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's sometimes what Warhammer can be sometimes. It is a game of luck, even with the stats on your side. Though, of course, it depends on how you also play it, so it's not just a game of luck. Maybe that's not a fair thing for me to say.
Yeah, it's not 100% a game of luck because you have the rules of the models. Like, you can have, just imagine someone playing Guardsmen and I don't know, someone pulls out his Chaos Titan. You can use them. If I'm not mistaken, you can put the Chaos Knight, a knight. If I'm not mistaken, you can use them unless this is my friends who play with special rules. But yeah, imagine you're the luckiest man, and they cannot kill your guardsman, and your little guardsman kills the Chaos Knight.
Mhm.
Basically that.
That is basically it. Yes, models and rules can help, but you have to also be smart when it comes to playing the game. Because if you're just like having your troops, march towards a tank, it's almost expected for them all to get killed. Because
Like anything that I say about the table game, all the knowledge I have it from friends talking into it because unfortunately I cannot play the game.
Mhm.
I don't live somewhere where I can just go to a shop or have friends who are interested in, spending a shit ton of money on plastic models and painting and then suffer.
Of course, outside of the Leagues of Votann, people will recognize you for other arts that I've done on this channel and for other people and all that. But just for the audience in the back who may not know who may be Svi or Svi, my mistake. Yeah. So for the audience in the back, who may be?
Hello, I'm Svi. I do art in my free time. That's all. I like Warhammer. I liked it since I was little, since my parents showed me essentially what was a pamphlet. If I'm not mistaken, uh, it was essentially either Age of Sigmar or Fantasy before Fantasy then got killed and turned to Age of Sigmar. And what I remember as a kid in the pamphlet, there was basically the miniatures, very very well painted and detailed, and it wasn't 40K, it was Fantasy and all Fantasy or Age of Sigmar at the time. And I was, in awe of it because it kind of remind me of StarCraft, okay, but medieval World of Warcraft rather. When World of Warcraft was more known for being an RTS than the MMO, you know. And that when I looked at it, my parents were like, "Okay, we will bring you to the exposition or the place where they are playing the Warhammer games." And then we couldn't because we lived in a situation of poverty, so I couldn't enjoy Warhammer and such, and I didn't either have a computer to look up Warhammer or anything until the next year of that, where I basically started essentially to look up the prices of Games Workshop, and then I was like, Jesus Christ, I will never be able to afford this.
Mhm.
So what I used to do was essentially save the pictures for myself, like the picture of the models that I wanted for my future self. And then in the same year of that, which actually I should have said the year, if I'm not mistaken, it had to be 2013.
Yes.
How old was I? Wait a moment, I have to. How old was I there? Well, I was little. Okay, let's say little.
Mm.
And after that year, well, what I said. So essentially, I started playing Down of War, Dark Crusade, just because of the Necrons. They looked fucking amazing, spooky, scary skeletons.
Mhm.
And that was one of my only ways to enjoy Warhammer, through playing Down of War. Then I got interested in doing, like, I always was interested in doing art, but I never fully focused in it until I played Down of War, and then I was more focused on doing a Warhammer 40k artwork, which those were basically like my more beginnings of an artist, starting with Warhammer, doing basically art pieces of what will be my Chaos Army or Necron.
Warhammer is
Such.
very influential for stuff like that. Like they inspire you to create stuff.
Oh yeah, but what inspired me more was that the Chaos Space Marines were super cool. They had a giant demon man that
Mhm.
whapped, eat people, and all of that. Then I think after that Dawn of War, I got more interested in the franchise. I played more, and I still couldn't, to afford models and such, but I still could be able to enjoy it through art that I made, and I'm playing the games like Space Marine. Uh,
Now that's a gem of a game, Space Marine.
yeah, it's really a fantastic game. We're lucky that we are getting a sequel.
Oh yes,
We're very
it's like
after.
out of a million chances across any of the multiverses, we're able to get Space Marine 2 in this universe. So it's like
Nah,
we're in a good timeline.
now multiverses, no man. That doesn't make that much unique or war, like, if we have multiverses.
Oh, come on, it's just something I say. Come on. I'm not an
Where's
MCU
my
guy. I'm not the MCU guy that's like, oh, it's just like the Marvel movies. I'm not like that. Come on.
my god? Oh my god, the aliens are invading. Where the fuck is Iron Man? Where are the Avengers, man? Can you imagine? Where are the Avengers? I thought they were real. Where is Spider-Man?
Or an actual war happens and it's like, this is exactly like a Marvel movie. Not now. Not now, Lance.
Warhammer fans when the aliens invade, staring at their shovels.
Oh no, 40k fans are more prepared for an alien invasion because they already have the mindset about what to do with aliens.
Yeah, and then you have the Mass Effect ones, which are like staring at their penis, or finally, alien life, and it's fuckable.
No, but when they see the alien, it looks more like a Tyranid, and it's like,
What do you think that's going to stop them? Do you think that the fangs, the horrible face of death?
I wish it would because that thing's probably filled with teeth. That thing down there.
Now,
It's probably
now
not. It's not
actually,
even. It's probably not even like. It's probably not even like a little tunnel. It's probably like a weird tentacle thing.
well, it's not only the tentacles, but now that makes me think if well, I'm not gonna say it's too horrible of a thought. It's basically someone being horny for their literally miniature army.
It's like, sorry,
yeah,
bro. Aliens don't look like the Tau. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. So no. Imagine someone being like, it's a guardsman and he has a Tau gear in front, and the Tau gear is like, hello, and then he shoves away the Tau gear, and he's like, mama, and it's a fucking big tyrannid, a big tyrannid lady in a fucking in a femboy suit or something. I don't know.
A giant tyrannid. Yeah. It's like, darling.
Mama, I come for you. For the emperor.
What the fuck?
I mean, I can imagine like the fucking this guy, Johnny, the guy that's like this cartoon. What was his name? Find it.
But yeah, just a quick thing actually. So you said you are a self-taught artist, right?
Yes, I've never gotten classes. Maybe the only classes that I've got were of school, but those weren't really of teaching you. But rather, okay, draw this. Just draw it. And what I did is not draw what they gave me. I basically did whatever I wanted, and the teacher was like, "I like this shit." But yeah, there's the guy, Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo's like shoves away Tau girl, and then he's like, "Mama," to the fucking tyrannid.
But yeah, about the whole
certified monster fucker.
Yeah, about the whole self-taught artist thing. So I have came across like a bunch of people online who are self-taught artists as well, and they're able to create like, extremely great art, especially you two. So I think what people can take from this is that when it comes to something like art, you don't need to take like some kind of expensive university degree. It's just more of the idea of practice and experience.
You need to have. This is like boxers, like anything, like you need discipline, practice. There's of course always going to be really good at it,
Mm-hmm.
There's like people that's just good, but with practice, perseverance, will, you will reach the level that you want. Like there's a lot of people that get like sad when they go into Twitter and see someone else art and they are like, shit, mine is shit. That sadness means that you still have room to improve. That's what someone should focus when doing art, to improve, but also to have fun,
Mm-hmm.
But this is again, you cannot rely on being motivated, on having fun, because every drawing is not going to be fun. Every drawing is not going to motivate you,
Of course.
Like of course you're going to have bad, sad days, but if you want to get good at it, you need to keep up, practice, see other people's art, like have also some sort of like manga, or what's basically the artist that you want to be, to have like an artist, to use an example, like how to reach that level essentially. Like I'm not an expert, I'm just talking about my experience. My judgment may be wrong, but this is the way how I view it. This is the way how I experience it. It's perseverance and all.
Yeah, and I think what people understand is that, like you said, when it comes to do something like art, you can't just do it out of inspiration or to do it for fun. Sometimes when it comes to art or even work, like your career, there are days where you don't want to do something, but you have to push through it, because if we only work or do something when we want to or are motivated to, then nothing will get done,
Yeah, look, I'm lucky that somehow nobody has entrusted me to draw for them furry stuff and such, you know. I'm a lucky man. I haven't been cursed. Then again, I'm doing like 100 characters in a picture. I think I'd rather do the furry porn, if I may say.
I was about to say that about Metal Man's commission. Yeah.
I'm working on it. Try doing 100 characters and be happy with every character line art.
Well, I was going to say, dude, they always request, hey, can I be in this picture? Can I be in this picture? It's like, I think there needs to be a point where I say, sorry, guys, we can't take any more. I think there has to be a point.
Look, there will be characters I will tell Metal Man, basically, okay, you don't have to, because, you know, there has to be some sort of payment for each character, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there will be characters that I can get done, like in, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Those I'm gonna tell Metal Man, you don't have to pay for those. Those are, you know, easy. But the people that are detailed, like the tank, the dreadnought, you know, me giving Metal Man a muscular, fantastic, inhuman body, you know, that's money, you know.
Despite how he's like a chubby boy.
No, Metal Man is not chubby. Have you seen him in the picture? He has a bucket in his head. He's muscular. Like, he can destroy you with those Scottish muscles. Yes. I made him black one time, like in TF2, but he didn't like it.
It's like that's. It's like, oh, what's wrong, Metal Man? It's what's wrong with representation?
Yeah, Metal Man, you don't want to be the.
Like, why must a Scottish man? No, that's not a question. I forget. It's just a funny joke.
Yeah, and then on the picture you have Grimm on his hand, being small, saying "ooh," and yeah, if you want, we can talk a little bit of the picture if you want, and me explaining the lore of why is someone like that in the picture drawn that way.
I got the whole I got the whole picture. Like, well, I got the whole idea about the whole meme behind every other stuff. Yeah, because it is like a group photo of everyone in the Discord.
More than the Discord, there's people who is not affiliated to us in any sort of way, which I do hope that people don't chase after someone just for being in the picture. I think that's going to be really horrible. I'm not going to disclose the names. You have to, you know, of course, figure out who is who. Like, you is going to be easy. You have glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
Pink glasses. Remember, guys, he has pink glasses. Go after him. Destroy him. Destroy Jarvis. Hey, by the way, how is the Votann not safe for work card?
Oh, that piece. So for those who don't know, I've commissioned a art for the Leagues of Votann. Well, to celebrate the whole Leagues of Votann video. So there's going to be a naughty or risque piece of art that's in the works right now. It's going good so far. And once some sketches come out, you'll all see it on my Twitter.
I was going to do it myself, but I have to finish the picture.
You're too busy, my guy. You're way too busy.
Of course, that's why I send you other people that I know they're, that busy, and they will appreciate that I'm such a lovable person that I will send other people.
Yeah, like.
But yeah, going back to that part of the picture, Grimm being small. Grimm is small because that's what literally Grimm is, on Twitter, or rather, like in real life. Yeah, he's a massive dude. Like, he can, with one hand throw you like a little baby. And on Twitter, everyone, of the, I'm gonna say it in this disrespectful way, because it is what it is, woke, leftist, extremist, blah 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 people, like they go after Grimm because he had some controversial meme shit to say, and they carry on with that, and his words really have weight. It's just his opinion, but they plant him as he's let's put an example. like if he's Arch, you know,
Mhm.
they blame him like if he has opinions that have relevance to the community and such. You know, like whatever Grimm says is essentially Grimm is a boogeyman. Would they have to shit every time that something happens or every time that he says something? Oh, it must be Grimm's fault. Oh, I got banned. It must be Grimm's fault. I still remember that time. Can I name people or do I name their titles?
Oh
Just for the
no,
context.
it's fine, man. We don't need to like say give people's examples.
You don't want
You can just.
examples.
I have a picture of who you're referencing to, but I think just for the sake of it, let's not like list names.
Essentially, Grimm says silly things, they take it too seriously, and then I get shit on because Grimm follows me and I follow Grimm and he's on the picture. It's like, I'm just the artist. Like, I had these other guys telling me that I do artwork for fascists. And it's like, what am I supposed to do? Be like, oh, I don't want your money. Your money is racist or some shit. It's like, what the fuck? I'm a small artist, and I don't give a fuck about people's, you know, political views unless they start going after me. That's when I get the problem. Is when I get shit on for something I haven't done.
It's like I'm part of the Discord, and it's like people are just way too comfortable saying, fascist, and it's like that word has no meaning anymore. It has no meaning.
Okay, it's not just fascist, it's Nazi, it's all that shit, transphobic when you aren't. Like, I still remember this person who is trans. They started shitting on her because she said that she was friends with Grimm, and Grimm is transphobic. Therefore, Grimm cannot have trans friends, and all the trans friends that he has are not real trans. Isn't that a little bit transphobic itself? If you claim that someone is...
That's a bit like,
yeah.
Ooh, don't say
also
that.
The part where they also started being misogynistic with her, just because, like I said, she said, "Oh, I'm friends with Grimm. He's not a bad guy," and all of that. Like I said, Grimm is not big. Grimm is nothing. They treat him like he's the Antichrist, like he's going to laser them, find them, eat them, the Ogre King or something. And that's why he's small, because that's what he is, small.
It's like comparing Grimm to other accounts. It's like, he maybe I'll just say this: he's almost no different from my account in terms of number or presence. So it's like you're trying to make a small little thing into a bigger deal than it is, and that's kind of toxic. You see what I'm trying to say?
I mean, that's the whole personality of the majority of people that shit on me. They will grab something small and then shit so much on it, so in a very toxic way. But yeah.
And I would know this, because someone tried pulling that on me, saying that, oh yeah, I know Jarvis. He's like an alt-right chud, bigoted guy who I tore down in his videos. And it's like, bigoted opinions in videos? You mean this is about boot plating and female space marines? That's your example of bigotry, dude?
Oh my god, female space marines. Games Workshop doesn't want them because it's misogynistic. They are misogynistic. Oh, I don't understand it, man. Like,
it's like it's like, I'm sorry, dude. It's like, I'm the world's worst bigot. I mean, in terms of not terms of, oh, he's like an absolute bigot. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's like, of all the things I believe in and things I, or maybe not strive for, but what I believe in politically and what I believe in socially and all that, I am like, if you call me a bigot, it's like, well, I'm the world's worst bigot.
Yeah. This also going back to female space marine. This is the same with the Lord of the Rings. Inclusivity. I think Warhammer is very inclusive. It has a lot of different alien races, a lot of models. I do not get why it has to be like we need more women. I believe that if we have such big, rich setting, we should get more alien models or alien species going to the town and such, rather than just women. Because really, are more people going to be like, oh, Warhammer, more women? Yes. Like, you have now the League of Votann, which the League of Votann is a very unisex army, if I may say,
It is.
And a lot of people are crying because they cannot make it fully woman. Well, buy the box set 2 times. It's Games Workshop. Like a lot of people will cry to Daddy Warcom. Like Warcom announces something, they will be like, Daddy Warcom, why haven't you put more woman head? Like the fucking Twitter account will go to the HQ of Games. Well, if they are already in the HQ and be like, hey guys, we need more woman head. It's what the community wants.
Yeah,
And that's not it.
on that one
like a
character
lot
model,
of
yeah. Because
yeah,
I
like
remember on that one HQ model, it's like there's different head variants and all that, but I'm pretty sure it does have a female head, but they just didn't show it.
Yeah, and if it doesn't have, you can just grab the one from the other ones. Like this is the thing that someone was reasoning that the Chuds will hate the Votann because there are woman heads, and it's like, isn't that good? The Chuds will sell you the woman heads, and you will not have to worry about making them all male. It's a win. This is something that I don't get. Why are the Chuds bad if the Chuds will sell you the woman thingies that they don't want? You win, you don't lose.
As a,
I saw it with that logic. Like I don't think someone is going to spend, I don't know, $100 in Warhammer models and throw away the bits and such that they will not use. Or someone being like, oh my god, a woman head in my army, I don't like it. I cannot seriously view a human being like that stupid,
like, again, what I'll say is that because the HQ model that we're referencing to is named a call, if that's how you pronounce it, but so you can make it. You can make it either into into a named character or a vanilla variant, or perhaps even Ironkin. I'm 100% sure there is a female option in it, but they just didn't show it. And if anything, it's just an inconvenience that they didn't show every single thing in that little package up front and center. If you see what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, yeah. And at the same time, it's your model. You can do whatever you want with it. The Chuds, Games Workshop, they're not going to stop you. But I don't still understand why Games Workshop has to be forced into, we're talking about female Space Marine, right? And the Votann. The Votann, very well mixed and all, but going back to the woman Marines, why it has to be forced into the universe having more woman Marines? Why cannot we have more women in the other factions? I do not comprehend. Sisters of Battle, they are pretty. No, wait. If I mention Sisters of Battle, my argument is in bad faith or some shit. Twitter.
Like I made a video about the whole subject already, and I've said what I need to be said, but essentially what I think is that one of the arguments I think people have up for female Space Marines is that because Space Marines are like poster boys, because they're up front and center for the hobby, but because they're men, they're all men, that's something problematic. But here's the thing though. Yes, when you think of Games Workshop or Warhammer, you think of Space Marines. Yeah, at the same time, when you think of DC Comics, most people are going to think of Batman, right? Or when people think of people think of Nintendo, they think of Mario because he's one of their biggest products, right? But just because something like Space Marines are something that people will think of immediately when it comes to something like Warhammer, just keep in mind that doesn't mean 40K is just Space Marines. They're very popular, yes, such as with Batman with DC or Mario with Nintendo, but that doesn't mean and the entirety of that company is just the one thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not the question of what became it's not the question of, well, it's popular. Yes, it's popular, but that's not exactly something wrong or something evil. It's just something that people like within said company,
Yeah. They're also making a rogue trade game, which looks fantastic because you will basically be a rogue trader and have a Eldar Tau, maybe? I don't know. As basically allies that you can have in your squad and such. Which, that's how Warhammer started, right? Rogue trader. But you don't see Warhammer being like, essentially at the time. What was the main selling thing of Rogue Trader that you will say, like the face of Rogue Trader?
Well, the thing with Rogue Trader is that, and this is something I'll be making a video of actually. So, Rogue Trader wasn't exactly like a addition as we might think of when it comes to 40K. It didn't have like, well, it had models, but it wasn't like, oh, get this box set with this army and this army with this codex and this codex. That came with second edition, right? Second edition was, well, I believe true 40K. This is when 40K was gaining its image. It's when it was becoming something more concrete, right? But with Rogue Trader, or Warhammer Rogue Trader in this case, it was more of just a rule book. It was a rule book in which there's a game master and two players are like role playing a game and all that. That was the whole image of Rogue Trader, right? Rogue Trader was a very, very, very rough draft of 40K.
Yeah.
So was
So I don't think female heads will make the universe far better, because you also have to have the context of the universe. Like, okay, I think if Games Workshop wants to literally start selling female heads and tell you, okay, woman marines are a thing, what are they going to do with the lore, you know?
And,
like,
but even if they make female heads, I just don't think it'll be enough. Or they don't, or people who demand it will say, well, it's not good. It's not going to be good enough.
It's never enough. Look at Lord of the Rings and that Amazon series. I've looked at the 2 episodes and I got bored. The pace is horrible. And I asked someone, is this the story? And and I explained to them the episode, I showed it, and they were like, what the fuck is this? This doesn't happen. Or the whole happens.
The whole thing about Rings of Power is that it wasn't actually based off a story that Tolkien wrote or anything like that. It was more of like a blank space between in the Samaritan or Silmarillion. Silmarillion. My mistake. It's basically glorified fan fiction. That's what basically the show is, because they couldn't get any actual story from Tolkien's work and turn into a TV show. You know.
Yeah, then that's what female space marines for me are. Glorified fan fiction. That's what I think they are.
And that's good if you want to create fan fiction, guys. It's fine if you want to create your stuff like that.
It's good. It's okay to make female space marines, but I do not see okay to demand to the company to be like, we want these changes. We've been asking for years for these changes. Wow. You know? Like, you know what I want? I want more Chaos Space Marines. I just want Chaos Space Marines. Literally only Chaos Space Marine. Like, take Necrons too. You know, Chaos Space Marine. That's what Warhammer has to be. That's my head canon. There's no more, you know, Imperium. It's just Chaos and Necrons. The end times. That's the canon now. I want it, please. You know, same thing. Glorified shit, you know. Like... you also have to keep in context the lore that not everyone becomes Space Marines. Like, humans rarely see Space Marines, even though they are the poster boys. Making a Space Marine is hard. Not all of them survive.
It's like, if we were to take every single young man on this earth right now and put them into trial to become Space Marines, perhaps only a few hundred, or maybe just 100 would be able to become Space Marines. Yeah.
It's horrible.
And here's the thing. Then people say, "Oh, creating Space Marines is a horrible process," and Space Marines are basically, you know, brainwashed children, because that's basically the whole theme. Right?
Yeah.
So when
it's literally that.
So it comes to the question of, well, if you get like women to go through this process, would they go, "Oh, how can you treat women like this?"
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see where the problem is going?
And also, you have to keep in mind all the people that shit on the Imperium saying it's fascist. So you basically want big fascist ladies, which, by the way, the majority of people that want female Space Marine that I've seen on Twitter, they basically don't want them to have boobies or boob plate. They hate it. They just want a head swap.
And that's a whole different argument. That's a whole different argument on itself too. And it's like, not to be so fixated on it, but we see what happens when companies like roll over, try and do changes to satisfy people, right? Like, especially right now of Dungeons and Dragons.
But, oh my god, Dungeons! Oh my! You saw the sorry tweet that they made about that race.
I did that about that.
The monkeys. the monkeys with wings that are subservient to the elves, and they like to be subservient to the elves. And someone just jumped the train by saying, "Hey, this is just like black people," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
To those who don't know, Dungeons and Dragons, right, had recently released like a bit of lore talking about a new race within their universe, which are basically like monkey people. That's basically the whole theme. But if you're to look at their design and how their clothing are presented, their armor, they're not African monkeys, right? They look like from East Asia. That's basically the whole theme, or that's how I see them as. And people are saying they're connecting this, or the smarter people, right? They're connecting they're connecting this race to Sun Wukong, the Chinese myth of the monkey who's able to become immortal.
Yeah. Sun Wukong, the Demon King.
Well, the Monkey King. That's he's the Monkey King, right? I don't think he's necessarily a demon, but anyways,
it's technically like it's actually. I've seen a lot of movies, all right. I haven't actually sit down and read the extended lore of the Monkey King, but in all the majority of adaptation, they call him a demon and they want to purify and kill him. Like I've seen a lot of adaptations of what's basically the journey, where they have the Monkey King basically have the tiara that makes him get punished when the guy that he basically has to protect punish him. Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting the details. I need to give it a rewatch. But yeah,
but not to be so fixated on that. But this is basically what the whole race was inspired by, at least how I see it and what others see it, right?
Yeah,
not
normal person sees.
Normal people, someone who's smart or someone who's rational wouldn't like immediately jump the gun saying that, oh, these are Africans. And it's like, no, dude, it's either showing your low prejudice or you're just really dumb.
It's not that they are Africans. They just saying that's black people, as if every black person in the world had to go through slavery. It's weird. It's Twitter moment when you see that kind of logic.
You can't satisfy these kind of people, and again, you try to satisfy them, but it's never going to be enough. But then again, you decide, no, we want to reach out to the certain audience. We're going to cut D&D so much. We're going to do everything we can to satisfy these people, right? But then they'll never realize, oh, we can't satisfy these people. Because I think what people need to understand is that they hate your game. Right? They hate the whole idea of Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons has become like, do you all the people that got bullied in school and all that shit for liking fantasy settings, Dungeons and Dragons, or me? I didn't play nerdy stuff. I just like to playing games, and I got picked up for shit that I didn't play. I just like to play games like everyone. Video games. It's like I just got associated to shit I didn't play or like, just because I liked other stuff that kind of resembled to it. But yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons becoming mainstream has really become something of cringe. But at the end of the day, you can make your campaign and your own sets of rules. You still have Pathfinder and such. But yeah, the people getting triggered in a fantasy world, having monkey people who are slaves to elves, and they like to be in their ships and shit like that, and then doing mental gymnastics to compare it to real life is like.
Sorry, man, you're kind off, dude.
Oh Jesus. Okay, well, never mind what I said. I think people need to sit down and be like, is this reality, or am I living in the world of D&D or some shit? I don't know. Like, it's just with Warhammer, with the whole you are your faction. No, I am me. I am not a space dictatorship or something. I don't know, or a book eating man.
It's like my favorite faction are as of right now are the Votann, Tau Empire, and perhaps even Tyranids, right? It's like
Mine are.
it's just a game.
mine-
It's just a
Yeah,
game,
it's-
guys.
It's like we said about the playing violent video games. I've played a lot of violent video games in my childhood, and I haven't, without context, I haven't pumped kids anything, you know.
Hmm.
Like I don't believe a video game will make you go all the other kids like the pom pom kids. You better run, you better run, Like video games have been my scapegoat for my most the present moments in my life, like the only place that I had actually been able to relax and such when I was a kid and had to live with bullying and other shit. Like the problem with my bullying is that I never told anyone that I was getting picked up. I just, I didn't want to make sad my mother and such until the day that something very bad happened, and then she, realized why things were bad, kind of.
Hmm.
But
I can
yeah,
understand that.
let's talk about like in the famous game of Metal Gear, kids can be cruel, Jack, and I'm in touch with my inner child. Yeah.
But anyways, I think we also reached a good point where I can actually ask you some questions if that's all right with you.
Yeah, it's alright.
Sure thing. And our first question is actually, yeah, there's basically three questions three people ask the same question, so I might as well ask it.
Yeah.
One is
I
from
know,
one is
I
from Metal
know.
Man. One is from Metal Man. Where's my commission, Spy?
I'm working on it, right? And I'm working on the little guy that I have sent you. I will send it today. I just didn't paint it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm working on Metal Man's, right? I had to make changes, add new people, add a tank. The tank has fucked the formation I had for the people. Now I have to do another sketch because I've moved everything to also include a dreadnought. And it's not, I have to put him in the canonical size.
It's not
Dreadnought is
easy.
big.
It's not easy, dude. You need to be patient and stop
Yeah.
and stop letting people add more of their characters in because it's never going to get finished then.
Yeah, I will just start to make smaller and smaller.
Or
That's how we'll get it done.
or maybe start saying no, we can't accept any more. Sorry. Maybe do it. Probably do another one in the next 10 years.
Yeah, and the 10 next years there will be a tank and
Maybe even a
Wait.
Titan.
And also I have the other problem of people asking me to basically have a printable version, but I don't know how that can work out, a printable version. I do not know how to make it. I do not know if I can find a page, and I do not know if the resolution of the image itself is good. One thing that I did was with the picture I made it essentially in a format vector where I can make it smaller without fucking up the quality of the line art itself. Well, it kinda can get fucked up if I make it bigger, but when I make it smaller, it looks okay. So essentially, if it happens that I have to make like a printable version, and making it smaller, the image itself will destroy quality. I can just make the whole thing again. Well, make it smaller with all the color layers, and then fix whatever color gets wrong for downsizing it. But yeah, I will see if we can make one or not. So yeah, what's the next question, Jarvis?
But real quick, when you did the whole thing of I'm working on it, it sounds like when Chris Chan's dad confronted him saying, "Go do it. I'm working on it. Go do it. I'm working on it."
By the way, did Chris Chan really escape?
No,
Or
it
is that
didn't. I don't think he escaped jail. No.
Jesus, I wanted that to be true. It's fucking funny.
That would have been so funny. All right, you suddenly gain the knowledge that a person you know is actually Big E, just doing whatever it was he was doing until M23. What do you do?
bro, can you make me immortal or something? Or rather, bro, do you know Warhammer? Well, this is your future. Kill your son, or no, don't kill him. Uh, tell him about don't tell him about Chaos. Chaos is bad. He might like it actually, like Fulgrim. Fulgrim wasn't corrupted by the sword. He was a sexual deviant all along. Oh God, Emperor, look at this thingy that isn't your future. It might be. Can you give me? Can you make me something? Pump me with magic and shit, man.
Basically turning to a custodian, yeah.
Yes, Biggie, insert your powers in me, please.
That sounds so bad.
Because the custodians are very related to the god Emperor, just as the Primarch. So, it's going to do things to me. But yeah, if I had to be like, oh, Biggie, I will say him, make me basically the leader of the Mechanicus and make me immortal, please. Which actually, now that I think of it, in Warhammer 40k there are characters that are essentially immortal. They cannot die, they regenerate. Like Vulcan. To put an example, what was their name? Which Biggie also was that. What was their name? Perpetuals?
Perpetuals, yeah.
Okay, I will ask Biggie to make me a perpetual, but if a perpetual regenerates and I become a Mechanicus, will I regenerate my flesh if I turn myself into a cyborg? Or will my flesh not regenerate just because I have the mechanical thingies? It makes me, that sort of question.
That is a good question, though. I think if you're trying to turn yourself into a tech priest, I think your body is going to recreate your body no matter what. Because
because you have Emperor is hooked up to the golden throne, but he's still regenerating, but his mind is fucked.
And even then, it's not like his body is fully. It's not like he's the same person. He's a corpse, literally. But his perpetual abilities are keeping him alive. That's the only reason why he's still alive, even though he's corpse-like.
I think a parallel to basically becoming a dead corpse and then becoming a powerful thing, because the God Emperor, after sitting on the throne, losing his body, his mind split and all, but he's still very powerful in the psychic realm. You know Legacy of Kain?
Yeah, I know Jarvis Kane, yeah.
Legacy of Kain, Soul River 1, you had to kill one of your brothers who was essentially impaled on a chair on his throne, and you had this Easter egg. Well, if you travel to the spectral world, you could fight his ghost, but his ghost got too strong in the immaterial realm. And that's one thing with Big E. He was strong as a Pyseer, but after being years in the Golden Throne, he's literally become like one of the Chaos Gods. Mm-hmm. Well, not that chaotic, but he has, the what was Saint Celestine, his big girls and the ghosts. Which, by the way, one thing that I hate Games Workshop really for fucking up was the Legion of the Damned. Like, you have literally Ghost Rider, Space make a codex. Now they are very ghosty and all, but I really think that's a really missing opportunity for a very cool army. Like, of course, you can kit bash them, but I believe that if they had their own units and such, that would be just simply amazing.
It would be.
It will be. You mean it will be? Do you? You can see in the future, I seem. But yeah, what's the next question?
If you suddenly woke up in the heresy as a high-ranking Marine from any chapter with all knowledge about it you currently have, could you annihilate the Imperium? So will you either save it or will you annihilate it?
Could they save it or annihilate it? Any chapter. Oof. Okay, so the Emperor made the legions, but then he lost the Primarchs. Okay, so I will essentially be okay. Horus was the first one to be found, right?
Hmm. He was.
Okay, I will be a Luna Wolf, right?
Hmm.
Because he was the first legions to be found. And I wouldn't tell the Emperor, but I will actually tell Horus. You see what he will do to change, because in the books, when he was essentially stabbed by a cursor, and Erebros was like, "Hey, bro, you know the Chaos Gods? You know those cool guys?" If I'm not mistaken, in the book also Magnus tries to save him too, right?
He does, yeah.
And I will basically tell everything to Horus to see if he makes a change, if he decides to not forsaken humanity as such, because he gets corrupted. This is also one thing that a lot of people seem to be like they choose to be who they are. Some of the traitor legions did, but mostly of them got corrupted. Like Morty. Morty didn't want to be a giant bookman. He got betrayed by his second in command. The what was his name? Festus, Tempestus.
Typhus.
A lot of Typhus. Yeah, a lot of character names to remember. Typhus. Typhus betrays him. He joins Chaos. Fulgrim, you could argue the same thing, but since in one of the books he's like, after being tortured, Lucius tortures him to make the demon go away. Instead of doing an exorcism, he just tortured him. so then Fulgrim is like, yeah, bro, I've been always into this shit. That is really, like.
It's all Greek tragedy.
It's somewhere pushed to be corrupted, to embrace this shit that is chaos, and some others, betrayal, corruption. Chaos is bad, right? They get corrupted. The only ones that I could see choosing to join chaos just by all the shit that happened to them is the Night Lords and the War Leaders.
It's like
and
eventually,
Perturbado, maybe.
like
and War Bearers.
It's like, sorry, even if Chaos wasn't around, or maybe if in an alternate timeline Horus never got corrupt or anything like that, eventually legions like the Night Lords, World Eaters, and World Bearers, they will be into conflict with the Imperium of Man. It's inevitable of what would happen. Yeah. So
the problem with the war Lords is that if they didn't have the nails, they could have had the best fucking Primarch ever.
Yeah, but that's not in the timeline that happened. But that's not the option that they had. Their Primarch was really, really in a horrible state, and he shouldn't have been leading like legions and all that. But he was just not a person that's destined to be a great leader, because was always a slave for most of his life. And with the nails messing up his brain, he's a slave to his own insanity. That's basically his whole theme. If anything, if anything, it's a Greek tragedy.
Yeah, it's like what was in his book. He was like he what was he, an empath or something like that? Like I have this person with War Leaders player essentially, and he loves the Legion and all, and the way he explains Angron was that he had also psychic powers, but in the way of being able to comfort people.
Yeah, he's able to take people's pain away.
Yeah, like it's really a tragic of a character who had that sort of power of taking people's pain away to inflicting the maximum pain and blood for the Chaos God, which his model that came out as him as a demon prince, I saw people bitching I will say bitching because the model is fantastic, about the face not being human enough just because Morty and Magnus kept a lot of their humanity. But what is Angron if not a beast of pure rage? You know, I don't think someone who had such a tragic story
Yeah,
be humane, and he also was forced into being a demon.
he was, and one thing
Literally.
I know who you're talking about, Nos. Yeah, he's a great dude, but
Yeah, no,
for Angron, he is very heavily inspired from his art piece, his famous art piece everyone knows. So
yeah.
of course he's going to look like that. And if anything, he's the bloodthirster of bloodthirsters. Yes, he looks like.
I wouldn't say the bloodthirsters of bloodthirsters, because you have recently Total War Warhammer 3 got its DLC of the Champions of Chaos, and you have Valkyr the Bloody. Valkyr the Bloody is a demon prince.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I mean is that.
But
what I mean for Angron
Valkyr
is
the Bloody
that.
keeps her human. Yeah.
Well, what I mean for Angron is that people say, well, he looks like, well, even with his famous art piece, he looks like a bloodthirster. Well, here's the thing. Wouldn't that make him the bloodthirster of bloodthirster? Like, he's the crown jewel of Khorne's army.
No. That's Scarbrand. Scarbrand is the bloodthirsters of the bloodthirsters. His weapons are literally
exiled. But he's exiled.
Yeah, he did an oopsie, okay, but he's still the favorite, okay? He will redeem himself one day. After all the brain like he gets exiled, gives him brain damage. The poor guy.
Okay, I get it, fine.
No, like Scarbrand in the lore is a fucking Giga Chad. Like, his weapons are other bloodthirsters that he killed. Like, he challenged the best bloodthirsters, killed them, made weapons, made them into weapons, and uses them. And then Siege, went with the typical, oh, I'm gonna trick you. And he literally backstabs Khorne when, he looks the other way. And it was, not the betrayal what angered Khorne. It was he was being a fucking coward after being his best boy,
And striking him when he wasn't looking, yeah.
Yeah, hit him when he's not looking, Maybe Khorne was like, ooh, that kind of hurt, man. And then he fucking vanished. He bitch slaps him and banished him. But really, a lot of the chaos, the greater demons, who are basically like you could say the commandments of the chaos gods, are all of them try to please Daddy. All of them are. I have to please Daddy, all right, because that's what they are for. Not for themselves, but for their god, who made them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Primarch, Demon Primarch. I wouldn't say he is the bloodthirster of bloodthirsters. I will say he's the coach of the bloodthirsters.
Okay, makes sense.
I think it maybe because also he's different. He's different from the bloodthirsters. He has more jagged wings, a tail. Oh wait, yes. Actually, I have to check if all the bloodthirsters had tails.
I don't think they do, and because I looked at Bloodthirster recently.
No, the models don't have tails. Yeah, he's the only one with tail, and it's basically his characteristics what make him different from all the greater demons, because he's a Primarch. Essentially he's the best of humanity into a monster, a demon, corrupted.
Exactly, like the literal personification of rage and all that. So of course he's going to be monstrous.
Yeah, he's not gonna retain humanity.
He lost his humanity.
Monster. Yeah, he lost everything. Like literally, his life is a tragedy. It's like the meme of the Joker. I thought, what was the phrase? No,
my life's not a. How do you say it? I thought my life's a tragedy, but it's a comedy.
Yeah, it's not that. It's way sadder. Like the man who takes other people's pain away become this monster pure because like I don't think Angron retraining his sanity because butcher's nails and all, he's a monster, he's not human, and the design with the artwork make that very different, make him very different from all the other 3 Chaos Demon Primarchs which have their humanity,
Mhm.
Essentially, Angron is literally no thoughts, only angry, while Morty can still... Well, actually, I have no idea if in the lore Angron can talk, or he just says blood for the blood god.
If anything, my idea is that he still has the bit of humanity that he used to be, but it's not like in the back of his mind. But that little piece of him is never going to be freed because he's a slave to himself.
To his own rage. He's a slave to his own rage and to Khorne.
Exactly.
He lost himself and become the monster he is.
Exactly.
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy.
It's a Greek tragedy. Exactly.
Yeah. You also have Magnus. Magnus was also a tragedy, but he was tricked every corner of his story. He's tricked by fucking Siege. Like he never had a chance. Fulgrim, I think the writers didn't give Fulgrim that much of an option. If he's just like, I was really into this, and then Morty is the same thing, forced into becoming a demon or dying.
If I could actually say something about the whole Fulgrim thing, they sort of did make a hiccup in his story where he was stuck in the painting, but then when he took his body back, he was like, oh yeah, I've always been this way. And it's like, no, you weren't, dude. If they kept it as a way where he got corrupted by the sword or influenced by the sword, and when he killed his brother, he was like, oh my god, what have I done? I want to take this pain away from myself, and it sort of tricked him into switching places. And it was always, and from here on out, it's like a demon possessing his body and his personality. I think that would have been a better story instead of like Fulgrim taking his body back and going, oh yeah, I've always been this way. And it's like, no, you weren't.
Yeah. Like, even you can tell that Fulgrim will always regret killing pharaohs, because what does he do in his free time if not make like clones in the realm of Slanesh of him and then killing them, because they are not like him.
Yeah. But I'm just saying is that going forward, if they just kept it as a timeline where the demon took possession of his body and his personality, but the real Fulgrim is forever trapped in the painting, I think that would have been a better story for me. I just think.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think we've reached the end of the show. Is there anything you'd like to say before we call an end?
Yeah, I think the other thing that I forgot is that I have ADHD. I don't really like to talk about my ADHD, but I think I should have said it. Which it's also another thing funny. I get called an ableist even though I have ADHD, but I treat very well my other friends who have, what would you say, a neurodivergence and such, But yeah, because you can tell I've had some moments where my brain went off in the conversation. So yeah, it was good to talk with you. Good to be here, and kind of talk about me and why I like Warhammer and such, and talk about the Votann, which are going to be pricey as always.
Oh yeah. But
are you going to sell your kidney to get an army?
I already sold my kidney long ago.
Oh my god. How are you alive, man?
But yeah, don't let people say who you are and all that, because you know who you are already. Don't let other people tell you what they think you are.
I know. This is something I never understand, is the gaslighting that on Twitter you can get just for following someone or something. You are you. You are not the person you follow. The person that you follow doesn't dictate what you like. You can make an assumption, but it's not never going to be 100% with what the person, You know
who you are, and no random profile picture on Twitter will know who you actually are because you know who you are.
Yeah, only the people of the Discord server know who I am.
Mhm.
You should hang more, eh? We have very funny moments.
I definitely need to do that more, I admit. But yeah, thank you for coming onto the show, good sir.
Oh, thank you for inviting me after yes, a lot of persuasion.
And if you all enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe and activate the bell notification button so you'll never miss another episode. There's a new podcast every month. And with that,
Yes.
I'll see you all
Yes,
next week.
yes.
Well, not next week.
Wait. If you want to be in the picture, going to Twitter, find RealSvyArt, then ask Mailman if you can be in the picture.
Oh God.
Okay. So he suffers. I will suffer, he will suffer, everyone suffers.
Yeah, anyways, I'll see you all next month, guys, for the new podcast. See you around.